back to my channel. Today we're talking again about interior design contracts. They are so important for your business, and we're looking at elements to include in that all-important contract. I'm Claire Jeffords, certified interior decorator and business coach. I've been in this business for 10 years and I understand the importance of having a contract in your business. If you don't want to start your contracts from scratch, then don't worry. I have my interior design templates for you. They're contract templates. There'll be links to that below. Everyone comes with a services outline, which helps you explain your service, market your service, and ensure that your clients understand how you work. Before we dive in, make sure you subscribe to my channel, hit the bell below, and you'll be notified every time I publish a new video. All right, so we're gonna cover some of the key elements to have in your contract. Of course, this is just going over it. I mean, the contracts that I have are 4 or 5 pages long, a couple of them, depending on which service it is that you're looking at offering to clients. So make sure that you are going into depth in each of these if you're doing it on your own or consulting with your own lawyer. The first thing you want to make sure that you cover in your contracts are the deliverables. What can a client expect from you? I'm talking about floor plans, product selections, mood boards. Let them know what you're going to be including in your presentation or in your service so they fully understand what they're going to get. You also need to be very specific about the areas of the home, or if you're doing a commercial project, you need to really list it out and really define that scope of work very, very clearly. Because if you don't, we've heard of scope creep, right? The scope creep can extend, more things can be added by the client, but you need to know that at that time when you're drawing up that contract for that specific service that you're working on with a client, be very detailed and very specific about what areas of the home that you can help them with. The other thing you want to be really clear on are your timelines. Are you taking the project to the finish line? Is this a big reveal? We call that our custom design and project management service. It's essentially full service. But if we're doing a designer by your side or a designer for a day, those are a block of hours. So be very clear so the client understands what are the timelines of this project. Are you there to help them to the end? Are you only including a certain scope to get them to the finish line of a certain part of the project? Be very clear. If you know me, you know I never shy away of talking about the money, so you need to include in there, of course, your fees and your fee schedule. What are the costs for your services? What is the frequency of your billing? When are payments due? All of this needs to be clearly outlined in your contract. And for us, I just want to say we never chase clients for services of payment. We always get that up front. So if we're doing a designer for a day or a designer by your side service, we take payment up front for those, full payment up front. You could do 50% for the designer by your side. If you're offering 20 hours, you could get 10 hours up front. And then when we're doing a custom design and project management, we also take 50% of our full flat fee that we offer to clients for our services. And we then take the balance of that after the presentation and before we implement in buying the products for the client. We hear a lot in my Facebook group, unfortunately, about designers who are chasing clients for money, and it's just a terrible place. It makes you feel a pit in your stomach, makes you feel sick, and it's just not a nice place to be. But when you get payment up front before you even start services, then that does not become an issue. Piggybacking off of that, you need to make sure that you have terms in there that say if the client does not send you payment, if a payment is not received at a certain time, what happens? What happens with the project? Do you halt the project? I hope so. We don't move forward with any purchases of any products unless we have 100% upfront from the client. Then we're able to move forward. That's all listed in the contract so the clients know that beforehand, because we talk about it before we implement the service with them. You may also want to include something about intellectual property. Now for us, when we do a 3D design for clients and we're showing them the concept design of what a space could look like with a wall down, maybe between their kitchen and their living room, we're adding in an island. You know, if we're doing a concept only design, for us, we're billing the client for those designs, and then we say they can take those and do as they will. They just need to make sure that they get them permit ready. We say that they're not to scale, so we cover ourselves in that way. But if you are going to say that that's your intellectual property and they cannot implement those plans without you, then you need to state that in your contract. All right, we know that back orders or items being discontinued, I mean, it's a real thing in our industry, right? So this is what you have to have in your contract. You need to have a clause that says what happens if by the time you go to place an order, items are discounted, items are back order or discontinued. So let's say, for example, that you have a client who you presented to, let's say it's May, and they come back to you, but they wait until maybe mid-June to come back to you. Maybe they got busy with their life. Do you have something in your contract that lets them know that the swifter they are at making decisions and the less we have of a turnaround time from the presentation up until the time that we're going to order, it minimizes the risk of products becoming unavailable, because this is huge in our industry and it could totally have a knock-on effect to the rest of your design that you've presented to your clients. See, so this is why it's so important to communicate that to your client in your contract ahead of time. Have these conversations so they know to keep things moving and to minimize that risk. Are you going to be charging more for your services if you have to go out and now resource something? That needs to be in your contract. What happens if products arrived damaged? Who's responsible for that? We know it's going to happen. If you are working in any capacity with custom furniture, my gosh, you know that this is a thing and it's very frustrating. So you need to make sure in your contract it states who's dealing with this. And this might differ depending on the type of service that your client is working with you on. Okay, so for example, when we have clients that are doing our designer for a day service, we are not responsible. I have that in the contract that is for sale, that we are not responsible if dye lots are different, if a product comes and it's damaged. We're just specifying, we're making sure that we know all of those finishes, let's say for their kitchen, are going to look fabulous together. The countertop, the backsplash, cabinetry color, but we're not ordering those items in the designer for a day, so we make sure that we're not responsible. But when we're doing our full service project management, then we are responsible. That's part of the service, right? That's the part of that luxury service. You're paying a higher fee, your clients are, because you're taking care of all of the details. It needs to be listed in your contract. Another key element that you need to have in your contract is managing of the trades and their workmanship or their quality. Are you overseeing the trades? Is this a deal that you have? Did you bring the trades in? Is it your responsibility to make sure that their workmanship, the quality of what they're doing is as it should be? Or is it the client that brought in their trades? And are you overseeing those trades? Or is that the client's responsibility because you don't know that trade? You don't understand how they work. You've never worked with them before, so you don't want to take on the liability for trades who you do not work with regularly. If you don't have contracts in your business, don't worry, I can help. I've got contract templates with service outlines that are not only going to help you be prepared, that are really easy for you to edit, but also those service outlines are going to be able to explain the services that you offer, answer frequently asked questions, and be able to market those to your clients when you're in the consultation with them so they understand the services you offer and the next steps involved. So check out the links below or go to interiordesigndocuments.com to see all the helpful resources that I can help you with in your business. I'm Claire Jefford. Hey, hop on over to Instagram at Claire Jefford. I hope to see you there and connect with me, message me and say I'm following you and I will follow you back. See you next time. Cheers.